Victoria. All right, you're live, Lucky.
I'm live. Hi.
Hi.
All right. Do you want to share your screen, or do you want me to do mine?
Aren't you gonna do some drawing
I can. Yeah.
like you did yesterday?
Yeah, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
All right. And if anybody needs to see the map bigger, let me know. And I will ask Rob how to make it bigger. All right. Original sound is on. Share my whole screen. Let me see here. Oh, it's been a long time. Share sound, stereo, and screen. There we go. All right. So, adapting to music changes and VSTs. And that's the topic today. So, like I said, it's going to be real short. How VSTs, my voice is crackling. How VSTs are good and can sound realistic. That's the very first thing I want to talk about. So, we're just going to cover the VST part and then the rest. Open. There we go. Is this too small? That's too small. I can see that that's too small for you guys. So, hold on. There we go. Let's move over. And scroll up. All right. In this video, you will learn how a VST can sound non-natural if the sound is pieced together wrong. Also, how the sound can sound very realistic if pieced together correctly. And I'm going to pull that right up. And if you like this guy, subscribe to him. And really check out his work because he has really, really good work.
Earlier without any noises.
Let me make sure that I have that turned over.
Are you able to post that in the chat?
Yeah, give me 1 second. It's also on the, let me close this. I was not able to copy that link. Or maybe I just did it in the wrong spot. There we go. I'm going from the beginning. Not 9 minutes either.
You don't want it to sound like a harpsichord.
You guys not hear
Trust
that?
me, even harpsichord
Yep,
players
yep.
don't want harpsichords to sound like harpsichords. But I digress. Today I'm going to give you 5 tips about how to make your VST guitars sound somewhat like real guitars. But before I do, I want to play you a short clip which contains a VST guitar.
We're going to skip all that. We're going to go over here. About right to here.
Draw the heart and soul and the humanity of
By the way,
instrument.
before I start this is ample guitar, and there's a light version, so this is a free VST. Anybody can get this. So if you have whatever DAW you have, you can get this, and you can do exactly what he's doing.
Guys, and if you do it with simultaneous notes, you really get a harpsichord sound like this. It's better to stagger your notes or use humanized features or play it live on a keyboard to get the kind of results like this. Now, not only are the start times of your notes important, but also the lengths of your notes. Some notes need to overlap into other chords, some need to stop as the chord is changed. Have a listen to a really bad example of notes being really short in an arpeggio. Not nice at all, and sounding more harpsichordish all the time. And let's have a listen to it with longer notes that drift over into some of the other chords. So tip number 4 is don't be afraid to use more than 2 tracks and 2 instances of the instrument to get the sound that you want. You'll especially need to do this when you apply some articulations to some strings and not to others. In this example, it's a kind of a Chet Atkins style example where the bass notes are being muted while the top notes are ringing out. So I've put the bass notes on this track here and the top notes on this track here. Have a listen.
5.
So last but by no means least is tip number 5, and that is to use the special effects which come with the plugin. These can be things like fret noise or hits and buzzers, etc. Have a listen. If you add these into your sequences, then it's going to help the listener believe that this is a real guitar. Let's have a listen to the arpeggio we played earlier without any noises whatsoever. Now let's add in a little fret noise as we move from one chord to another. And here's an example with some hits and slaps.
All right. Wow. So that can sound hyper
Pretty
realistic,
cool. Yeah.
but you got to know how to use the VST. You can't just start playing notes and say, "Hey, that's
Takes a
gonna
lot
work."
of trial and error then for sure, right?
Yep. So it could be time consuming and an art to be able to piece these things together. It can
Marty,
also be
can
time
you
consuming.
link the video in chat for everybody if they want to listen to the whole thing?
Yep. Give me 1 second.
How did you come across this gentleman?
I will let you know that. And also, I forgot to give him a shout out. His name is Creative Sauce, and he makes really cool tutorials on mixing and plugins, what to do with them, all kinds of things.
Cool.
How to get things sounding real and good. So, the benefits of playing a VST is because they're clearer in sound. Like, it's going to give you that no mess up kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you didn't make a mess. So it's a very clean sound. The benefits of playing the real thing, it's natural and it's your style. So mixing VSTs and real instruments playing together could be a better choice for some songs. So if you want some fake bass but real guitar, it might be harder to hear that there's fake bass in there. Now, I went back and I listened to the difference between a real guitar and a fake guitar because he shows it right here. Let me get to that. The A is real and B is fake. And you'll notice there's a vibrance in the real guitar. But it's not needed always when you're having a lot of instruments in the background. And if you're good with equalizing, you can probably make it sound very close to sample A, the realistic guitar.
Interesting.
So in all, having a VST instrument as a means to play an instrument that you don't know how to play or even have is a good way to get that part of your song completed. Learning the basics of your VST instrument is super vital. So you go out and you buy a VST instrument and you're like, hey, this is cool. Learn every aspect of it and then go and try to find out how exactly you can make that sound as real as possible. So if you don't know how to play the instrument, ask people that do play the instrument and they'll be like, okay, this needs a ring here because there's an open E right there, you know, and it rings out while the D chord is being strummed. So it's super vital to making it sound realistic. And the slaps and the mutes, you know, all of it.
And this is a software, or
Yeah,
is it
It's software.
just software? And what's like the price point? Do they have different,
This is free.
levels, or it's free?
And then, yes, they do have different levels. So what he's using right now is Ample. And if you were to go to Ample's website, trust me, I did. Because I was like, man, that's sounding good. He's sounding real good with that. But I already play guitar. It can run anywhere from $120 for just one or up. So let's go to like purchase product. And again, so we got 120 right here. So many different instruments that they have that you can make sound real. But if you do the full bundle, there you go. There you have it. $1,749. You don't need to pay that. You just go to the download page, I believe, and you have your free plugins, your Ample Guitar M Lite, Ample Bass P Lite, Ample Percussion Cloud Room. So these are all free.
Or like perpetuity, they don't like shut you off if you're using it too often.
Yep.
That
Nope.
you'll get so many, and then all of a sudden you've got to buy into it.
Right. And if I was any of you guys, I would just go ahead and play with them a little bit and see what you can do.
Mhm. What happens? I mean, obviously, yes, you play the guitar as well as Kev and Fabrizio with the piano. What about us lay people?
What about what?
Us lay people that don't know how to play an instrument. We know
So if
what
you don't
we
know how to
like
play an instrument,
sound-wise, but
right? If you don't know how to play an instrument, but you do know how they're supposed to sound,
Mhm.
then you just got to know your basics of music theory. You know, knowing how to arrange things together and then put them down into the whatever program you're using to record it in.
I'll have to go back to one of our sessions with Fabrizio teaching us music theory.
Yeah,
Right?
no, for real. And I told Rob, I said, I think Glennis would be, enjoy getting on this and just playing around with it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, like you say, you've got to start somewhere, right?
mm-hmm.
Be amazed when a person who doesn't play, actually puts something.
So you can also go to Google and you can find free VSTs, free VST by SDK. Now this guy is good. I think it was SDK. Let me see it. DKS. Is that his name? DKS. Yeah, there we go. DKS. And DKS, and he does a lot of great stuff. Now, these are all VST 3s, which means they're compatible with your DAW, whatever you're using, digital audio workstation.
Are these all compatible with Studio One?
Yes, the majority of them are. I've seen some that I had hiccups with, but if you pay $25, you get 1,640 high-quality instruments, and that includes these. I bought that. There was no way I wasn't going to buy that, and I played them, a lot of them, not all of them, but I was like just blown away by them. And sometimes you can get real good stuff for cheap. And
Can you put the link in chat?
Yeah.
Once again, is there a time period that you get to enjoy these things, and then all of a sudden they'll cut you off and say,
no, and not only that, he doesn't license them out. He just sends you the files. So they could be SF2 files, contact files, Reason, Giga, I don't even know how to say that, sample tank. There you go. SFC, and Wave. And I would suggest you ask him, if you are to buy it, for both SF2 and SVZ. Both of them. And he'll give you both of them. And they'll come in a huge file pack. And so after that, you would go and download something like this right here, SFC. And it's its standalone player. You can load all of his plugins in there and play them. Now, if you're going to record, you load them into Studio One's Contact. Not Studio One's Contact. You load them into Contact inside of Studio One. Contact is through Native Instruments, and I don't know if there's a free Contact player. I think there is, but yes, there is. But if you want to load these, you might have to buy Contact, which isn't that much. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into this. But I hope you guys look into it and have a little bit of fun with it, especially the free stuff.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the show real fast. The show. And that's on adapting to music changes. Michael Jackson versus Post Malone. I showed Rob this the other day. We got a giggle out of it. It's because
Jackson or Jason?
Michael Jackson, not Jason.
Jackson.
I don't know who Michael Jason is. There we go.
Hey.
I showed my daughter Michael Jackson, and he was dancing up on the stage, and I said, "Dude, you got to see this, okay? I know you're young, but you have to see this." And she just loved it. And then I switched to another thing, and all these cartoons from the past. And about an hour later, she goes, "Okay, but can we go back to Michael Jackson?" I'm like, "All right." So Michael Jackson versus Post Malone, it's because we got to be able to create our own show that the audience will enjoy, right? Make them want to come back for more. And this can be done through comedy or any means of attracting an audience and keeping their attention. The show doesn't need to be in person We live in a world where we can post a video online, and that is our show of us playing our music. The difference between Michael Jackson and Post Malone era is Michael Jackson, when he had his concerts, he would be dancing and he would be singing and he'd have these backup dancers and it was all this choreography going on. Post Malone is just up there and he kind of just dad dances. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of dad dancing. And people love it. But what people love it? Post Malone's people. When it came to Michael Jackson, people flew around the world to see Michael Jackson. So there was a big difference. We live in a different era. And it's sad that it's dwindling down to people aren't flying all the way around the world to come see you. You know what I'm saying? What can we do about that, though? Get on TikTok. I don't care who you are. Get on TikTok because just like MySpace and Facebook, YouTube is struggling to stay afloat. The youth and many adults have transitioned over to TikTok. Yes, stay on TikTok. Stay on YouTube. YouTube is your big platform. Transition to TikTok and then push people over to YouTube. Why? Short videos. When YouTube saw this, they created YouTube Shorts. When TikTok saw YouTube doing this, TikTok created the ability to give its content creators 10-minute video time. So if you're talking about ad revenue, TikTok decided that it didn't want to play ads like YouTube. So it's going to give to the people. So this is a super great platform to go to get noticed at a higher rate because they're giving back to the people. It's not just your celebrities and stuff like that, but TikTok created this ability to give 10-minute video time. TikTok's coming out on top, so that's where you need to be if you want to take off. You can promote your music on TikTok, but make sure you're connecting with the younger generation in a way that they'll come back for more and want more music. One thing I thought of is Fabrizio making a playlist of his songs and putting them into like a 2-hour to 5-hour video for vibing or easy listening, relaxing music. That's something that you would do on YouTube because that's something that a lot of people search for. I search for that. Tons of people search for that when you're just wanting to work.
What I did the
study.
other day when I was working, I was listening to Fabrizio in the background. I agree with you.
So TikTok came out with, well, it was called Vines back in the day, but they came out with this ability to be able to give it back to the people and not just promote celebrities and the top artists and stuff like that. They're promoting everybody. You get to see everything, so you're not down at the bottom of the line here trying to make your way up. You have your chance at being noticed. You're not going to be famous on TikTok unless you're famous in the real world after that. Does that make sense? So one girl on TikTok, she thought she was famous because she had all these followers. And when she went and she was doing a signing, nobody showed up. Well, that's because it's TikTok. So TikTok realized that the attention span was 30 seconds. YouTube thought that it was 10 minutes, then went down to 5 minutes, and then thought it was 3 minutes. TikTok got it right. It's 30 seconds. If you can't impress somebody in 30 seconds, you're not in this generational musical or whatever it is era. So it's time to step into it because that's where you can seriously promote your music. Also, music platforms, use Spotify. Why Spotify? Because that's where everybody's at. That's where all the youth is at. Spotify doesn't pay much to you, but it can promote your music. And I was thinking of stuff like linking to your sites or linking to your songs. Maybe you can run ads on them within the song itself. I don't know how the terms of service works, but I'm sure that you could add a phrase to the beginning of a song that says, this is me and find my music here. You know what I'm saying? Buy it. There's ways to get around things. There always is. I'm just going to cut that one short. But yes, Spotify is the place because that's where everybody's at. That's where they're listening to their music. iTunes is a dying platform. So what now? Well, we move to keep creating content and music. We learn new ways to get musical people to buy our products. And then we sell our products. We could do stuff like audio repair, mixing, mastering, creating. Fabrizio could do sheet music. Kevin could do some bass lines. Get in more to the studio stuff, and he could even start writing whole entire arrangements for people and making backing tracks. Maybe rap artists or maybe electric, some stuff like that, you know. Fabrizio could write for people. He could definitely write backtracks for people. And Glennis could get into this too, and she could be like, hey, you know what? I can do this. And yes, it takes time. And it takes a lot of crafting. But when you master that craft and you say, hey, I enjoy this, we're ready to go. And you're like, look what I can do. And you went online and you learned everything. So we have an inside joke about this dad thing, you know. Today, you ask your dad, hey, Dad, how do I look on YouTube?
Yeah.
That's how it is. Dads teach you now through YouTube. And that basically wraps everything up. I don't have a quote if Rev has a quote. But
I do have a quote.
okay.
Of the week.
Very interesting. Sorry, go on.
It's not the strongest or the most intelligent who will survive, but those who best manage change, by Charles Darwin.
That is very true.
Very profound.
Nice.
Yeah, so those VSTs, I was just that video you were just showing. So you have what looks like the picture of the guitar at the top, and then the piano roll to the right hand side. So you're making these tunes, but it's not converting it to wave, is it? It's keeping it as
A MIDI note.
a MIDI. Yeah, got ya.
And then you can go in, you can edit it, you can string it out, drag it along, make it sound different. You can change its sounds by like a pedal sound or whatever, and you can go in there and you can slightly alter it. And I can show you that later.
Cool.
You know,
And
yeah.
there's also drums and percussion as well, isn't there? So you can-
So I'm not a drummer. I don't know how to drum, but I will tell you, I've watched some instructional videos about how to get certain patterns down. And once those patterns are down, I can play them on the MIDI and then import them in. And I'm like, hey, this sounds pretty good. I'm a good drummer, you know?
Yeah, impressive. Thanks for that, Marty. I'm gonna look at download those later on or tomorrow. Yeah,
All right.
really good.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yep.
Mauro just left. He wanted me to tell you to say goodbye to you. Okay. He just
All right.
left.
Oh,
He's going back home.
What did he think about
Very
transitioning over?
interested. Yes, he want. Yes, he thinks that you have been telling us very interesting things about this. Was very interested in the virtual instruments, and he said that Spotify. That you are right about Spotify, and he just had a doubt about the other platform, TikTok. You know, because he heard people say that the algorithm, TikTok's algorithm, is a kind of fake one. But I'm not sure about that. That you know, allows people to just people with a great number, a great amount of,
let me
of views.
Let me try to ease your mind on this because
it's not democratic. You know, you are a big, you know, you're a great singer, you're a great artist. You got tons of views. That the algorithm becomes your friend. You
so
know,
I used to use a service called Blog TV back in 2009, and it was just like that. The more views you had, the more time that people were hanging out in your server, you would get promoted to the top. But it seems that TikTok just likes to randomly choose. Now you're looking at like, what do we got? Like 1 billion people on TikTok, something like that. It's a
randomly,
lot of people.
you say randomly.
Yeah, we got a lot of people on TikTok. So for them to highlight people, like, okay, they're not doing that. The algorithm is based off of you as an individual. So they're not going to be like, yeah, we're going to promote this person on everybody's page unless that person pays for promotion. See, TikTok runs off of paid ads that the user is paying to promote. You don't get paid. The user's paying to promote. Number two, TikTok runs off of these ridiculous, and I'm sorry, but it's true, ridiculous coins, tokens that you send to the people that you're viewing because you like the content that you're viewing. So you're looking at, in US dollars, you're looking at like 300 coins for like $400 or $500. So yeah, that's a lot. And you get these things, and this is a lot what a lot of other live places did, like Star Maker and stuff like that. They did the same thing. So they do have some ads on there, but you barely run into them. It's so rare to run into an ad, unless it's placed by the person who paid for it. Now, I went on a huge journey, and I only watched live TikToks instead of TikToks that were made. And I started hanging out with a lot of them. I got one person that gave me their phone number, and I contacted them face to face, and we started talking. And if you get 1,000 viewers and you start going live and you start playing, you have a long time to get people into your stream and just to enjoy what you're playing, easy listening music, whatever it is. But from all the people that I've talked to, this is where I learned that they're like, I don't know how I blew up. I make dumb videos. I don't know how I blew up. I did this. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it seems to me that people are just blowing up left and right, but that doesn't mean you're a celebrity because you got 14,000 or 20,000 or 400,000 followers. You're not famous. These people don't even care. They swipe you in 2 seconds. They like that. It was funny. They swipe you. You're done. They're done with you. They'll come back to you every now and then. There are a few people that made it famous on TikTok. Really famous in the real world. So what I suggest is you to use TikTok as a means to move people to your other platform.
Promotion.
Because that's where everybody is. So you can
Yeah, that makes sense.
move
Yeah.
them.
To promote my YouTube platform and
Yes.
Instagram,
Use it as free promotion service.
free promotion service. Okay. Okay.
And I promise you, the moment you start putting little tiny snippets of you playing piano and it, you know, and
People
whatever
are
you're
going to
wearing,
want to hear more for sure, right?
yeah, they'll listen to 30 seconds of it and be like, that was cool. They'll leave like 100 comments, you know, and then they'll leave your page. They don't care about you anymore. That was just cool. That was a moment. TikTok is like an emotional freaking swing, you know? You're like, oh, a kitten's so cute. Oh, that was so sad. Ha, ha, ha. You go by so many emotions with TikTok. But that's what it is. It's ADD central. And that's where you want to be because that's where everybody is. And
My daughters love Instagram. Yes, they use TikTok, but they prefer Instagram.
yeah, you definitely want an Instagram, and you definitely want to keep Facebook because you're not just trying to attract the youth. You're trying to attract your generation and the generation after you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the more platforms you have, the better it is for you and for your activity. Yes.
Can you make them less labor intensive by somehow linking them together? I mean, maybe providing, a YouTube.
Yeah, just create your own website.
Thing.
And
Yeah, so like if you're in TikTok, you're listening to this, can a person, then copy paste.
yes, yes,
Okay.
you can add your link onto a TikTok video.
YouTube has been under attack for a while because the other platforms, like Netflix, is a very interesting place, and people spend a lot of time there. And they used to spend a lot of time on YouTube. Now they prefer Netflix, TikTok, and other platforms. That's why YouTube is suffering so much. And
So
I can tell you about that because my channel has been going through very hard days, and so
let me ask you.
Are you able to take those videos and put them on other platforms so you can gain?
Well, yes, I can promote my videos just maybe 15-20 seconds on Instagram, but I haven't tried on TikTok yet. My partner says that they are not licensed. You can't do that on TikTok because because of the license and the licensing and the this kind of thing. So, but
explain that to me a little bit further, that they're not.
but he said that
licensed.
you play a cover and you can't do that because TikTok is not allowed to to
but they do.
promote music written by other people, by other.
Oh, you're saying that they wouldn't bump you up the list because it's a cover?
I don't agree with that because I've seen hundreds of covers.
I don't know. I'm just telling you what he told me just 10 minutes ago. That's because he was concerned about that. I was very surprised.
Well,
at that.
check this out.
I don't understand because sometimes I see my loaders using TikTok, and I heard a lot of music. So I don't understand why I shouldn't promote mine on the same platform.
You should. And not only should you, if by chance you get banned from TikTok for doing this, by chance they don't like you and they're like, you know what, that's not cool. But they don't do that. And I've never heard of anybody that has ever had that happen too, where they're like, oh, we don't do covers here. No, that's not a thing. No.
You play TikTok.
You know, do you know the rules about covers, right? If you do a cover, it's your cover.
Well, yes, there's a couple of theories about that. Some people agree with you and they say that you perform, you make a cover, and that cover belongs to you. You are the author because you have created a cover in your arrangement. Let's call it cover. You have covered that song. But other people say, yes, you have covered a song, but the song is not your song. You didn't write it. So the author is someone else.
So
and you have to pay that person, that guy.
Only if you get paid. Only if you get paid. Now
you know how it works on YouTube. For example, I play Bed of Roses. It was written by Bon Jovi. You have to pay YouTube. You have to pay Bon Jovi because he's the author. So he allows me to play his music, but I have to pay the fees. Okay, that's how it works. I don't know if it's the same on the other platforms, on TikTok, for example. That I would like to promote my arrangements and my original music, for example. I could do that because I've written a lot of original compositions, so there's no problem about that. But you play Bed of Roses, you play Queen, you play whatever, but you have to I don't know, is TikTok allowed to
let me say this. If everybody was getting charged,
those artists,
if everybody was getting charged this penalty fee to play another artist's song, then these artists would be multi-billionaires.
Well, you know what happened? I got, just yesterday, I got an email from Music Note, the American company I've been working with for 4 years. They released my arrangements, and okay, I got an email, and the director of Music Note just told us that John Williams doesn't want artists to play, to arrange his music, to play his music on YouTube and write new arrangements, and we can't do that anymore. Well, it's not a big deal for me because I've just covered 2-3 songs of his. Mm-hmm. For example, I covered a couple of years ago Indiana Jones soundtracks, for example, and Schindler's List. But there's a lot of artists who have covered tons of John Williams songs and soundtracks. So I don't know why, but is supported by Disney, and so we can't do that anymore. So I can write, I can create an arrangement.
Let me tell you this.
The composition of his. I don't know. I don't understand this. Maybe because there's a lot of piracy and there are a lot of people who are speculating, I don't know what happens around the world. But I got that.
It's probably due to Disney buying the Indiana Jones property, and Disney have very strict licenses on their intellectual property.
There's a lot of money at stake, that's for sure. So when it comes to licensing, penalty fees, and royalties, it's like seeing a bunch of jackals around that piece of music. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's like being in that parks, you know, in South Africa, you know, all those wild beasts trying to get their share. And I was very surprised at that, and I was very disappointed too, because I wanted to cover some other more John Williams soundtracks. It's great music, he's a genius, and so we had to wait. Well, the thing is still open. The director told us that they have been working on that, and they hope to find a way out. But you know, that mail really surprised me. You know, he's 90, 92. John Williams is one of the greatest musicians ever. And so I think Kevin is right. There's something big, you know, behind the scenes.
So what Fabrizio's talking about is what's called a mechanical license that you would probably need from whoever the song's from if you want to sell that song or make profit off of it, monetize it, stuff like that. If not, YouTube will place a copyright, not strike, but a copyright claim on it, and they will monetize it for that artist.
Exactly. Well, each time I upload a video, I get a message. And it's this is not, and it says this is not your song. You have to pay this one, this guy, this label, the other label, and so yes, you can monetize the video, but the author of that song, you know, he wants his share, and YouTube has to give it to him. Because that's the law. That's the law. You know, you are talking about mechanical, that mechanical thing.
Yeah.
Yes, some people say that when you record something, that recording belongs to you and just to you. You know, and so it's very clear. But if you play that music live, you have to pay the authors, the original creators.
If you don't have a mechanical license and you're just out there and you're just making stuff, you know, you're not trying to monetize your stuff, that's fine. YouTube will still take over and they'll say, hey, belongs to this person. But if a person doesn't want you to play their stuff, yes, they can try to block you out, but they're also going to try to block 100,000 people out from playing their songs too, because there's so many people playing, which they do. They have success with it, but some people have fought it and won because the original artist was just like, you know what, I can't fight all these people because they're getting angry at me because these are my fans. You know what I'm saying? These are my fans getting angry at me because they want to cover my songs and they want to show that they can play my music, but they're not even making money off of it. So I'm just going to let it go and let them do it. And you know,
yes,
those are generous artists.
If I were as famous as Bon Jovi, and if I knew that a lot of people, a lot of fans would like to cover my song, I would be happy because that means that I'm earning a lot of money because I'm going to get paid for that. Okay?
So I think the only thing that they're really trying to say is, hey, you know what? Don't cover my song. Don't go make a show and say that it's yours. You know, you gotta have my permission to even get on stage and do that. But you do go to bars and you do go or pubs or whatever, and you will see there's people out there playing live music of other people's songs.
Oh yes, of course. But for example, when I used to play as a classical pianist, each time when I finished my concert, a CI guy, you know, the CI is the Italian company that takes care of the royalties and penalty fees, you know, and it corresponds to the American. What's the name?
Cap.
Exactly. Okay. A CI guy came to me and asked me to write all the pieces I had played on that list. Why? Because the CI had to pay the original authors or the labels and those who had published, the companies who had published that music. Okay, so I had to be very careful about that. I had to write everything on that list, and so that happened. You want to make a concert, you have to pay the CI, right? Because how many people could be at your concert? How many seats are there inside the theater? So according to the number of seats, you know, the royalty, the fee gets bigger. Okay. Yep. 200 seats, okay, you have to pay, for example, $100. 400 seats, you have to pay $200. So that, you know, when I say there are a bunch of jackals, or vultures, or whatever you like, I'm telling the truth, because it works like this. You have to be very careful, because if you make a mistake, okay, they just show up, like a ghost, and they are there just to tell you, okay, you have made a mistake, you have to pay for this. So, they're very strict and severe here. So that's why I'm a bit scared.
What you could do instead of doing cover songs on TikTok, do your own songs. That's what people really want to hear.
Yes, well, that's no problem. If you are the original author, that you play your composition, that's no problem. You don't have to pay any royalties to anyone. You are the author. Okay, you can do whatever you want, but
they do. They want to hear your original songs. People love that.
Exactly. The problem is that if you can do this, okay, it means that you're making it big. So,
but you do have a lot of original songs.
I got 100 original songs, but I've just released 10 of them, a dozen of them on YouTube.
So if you snip those to TikTok for 30 seconds, and played some of those, don't just put them on TikTok as a song. Play them live. You know what I'm saying? And record that, and 30 seconds in or a minute in or whatever, just look at the camera and be like, that was awesome. Something like that, and just let them, because their brain, their attention span is so, they want to swipe. They want to swipe.
Sorry for interrupting you, but how long am I supposed to play? 15, 20 seconds?
No, I would play for 30 seconds to a minute.
30 seconds.
And then I would encourage them, once you get to 1,000 views, to check out your live stream.
You think that this is doable, viable? 30 seconds. People today, they get bored instantly.
So 30 seconds, you say, okay, you play your song for 30 seconds, it's really cool, you do something really fast, people are like, oh my gosh, that was so cool, and they comment it, and then you're like, okay, you look at the camera real fast, okay, I'm gonna be going live tomorrow, and then go live tomorrow, and then during your live, you could be playing and then be like, hey guys, so my music is up at Cusp Productions, I would love it if you supported me. Just go buy that. It's up at Cusp Productions right now, cuspproductions.com, and then just be quiet and go back to playing your easy music listening. And there's a song they might love so much. Like, where do I get that one? Where do I get that? Like, okay, thank you, Charles. I will.
Means to promote my.
And it would be like, okay, Charles, you can buy that at cuspproductions.com. That song is called Somerville.
Okay. Yes, Spotify is another. Weakness of mine. Well, I should do more on that platform, because a lot of people have asked me if they can listen to my music on Spotify, and my answers have been evasive so far, but I should be more accurate about that.
And Fabrizio, you have a higher chance of actually being able to interact with your audience. So gaining actual natural followers instead of people coming in going, hey, that was a cool song, I want to try to learn how to play it, but they don't care about the rest of your stuff. These guys will be dedicated to you.
Mm-hmm.
When people follow you on TikTok, it's dedication.
I should come to the United States and we should play together. That's
he's like, let me just come over.
That's or to the UK, and all of us.
Kevin seconds that. He wants to come over.
And play live and in a pub, in a theater somewhere, and that would be much easier. Okay,
let's all go to New Jersey.
New Jersey, okay, New Jersey. Let's pay a visit. Let's rendezvous in New Jersey. Okay, rendezvous in New Jersey, New York, New Jersey.
I wouldn't mind if you guys can come out.
Yeah,
I will be in New Jersey.
Okay, it takes 14 hours to get to New Jersey, but how long does it take to get to Rob? I mean, you, Martin, from your place to Rob?
They would be the same, about 14, 15, 16 hours if I was
by car, but not by plane.
I wouldn't take plane. I don't like to fly.
Really?
I love road trips.
What? Because you're scared.
I'm not scared of flying. I love flying. I just don't like to fly. The flight is boring. It's so boring.
But it's so quicker, and
you see more. You see more when you're driving. You get to see so much.
Okay, because you want to see while driving.
Oh yeah, I love the scenery. I love going through small towns. I love taking back roads. I love getting.
But it's very tiring. You can sleep on the plane, and but you have to. Well, so 14 hours
I
by
sleep at truck
car.
stops.
Yeah, but you okay, but you have to stop because 14 consecutive hours on a highway. It's a
Well,
lot.
what I do is I drive for about 6 hours or 8, and then I take my
But when
rest.
you met when you met Rob, I remember that picture. Did you drive 14 hours to meet him?
I drove 8.
Wow.
So I will drive any day over flying unless it's an emergency flight. And I've
Well,
had to take
Martin,
those a couple times. So
I can't drive to get to New Jersey, so I just have to take a plane.
didn't you guys hear about that bridge that they're building from the UK to America?
Milan, New Jersey. I think that's a direct flight to New Jersey, to New York, of course.
The only really scary thing about driving is you really got to know your day when you're going to go drive, and you got to know your time, and you got to know the next day to see, because you got to adjust for if you're going to be tired and you're going to take a rest and you're going to wake up, you're going to drive some more, and then adjust for the next day too, just in case. Because I say 14 hours, I might be there in 36. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
I got to adjust for all this to check the weather on the whole trip, because if I run into some mountains that there's crazy rain, I'm freaking out because I'm seeing a car beside me spinning out, and I'm like, what do I do? Stephanie, she's freaking out. She's like, what do I do? And I'm like, you do nothing. You just keep going straight. You know what I'm saying? That car's going to spin out. It's going to go off the road, and then we're going to stop. We're going to call 911. And so that happened to us. Those are the moments that are scary, but at the same time, you're like, wow.
Yeah, especially when you are miles away from home. But there's another big problem about driving. All the morons you meet while you are driving on the highway. There's a lot of people who are very dangerous. They don't respect the rules, and so you have to pay attention to what you're doing and to what other people are doing. When you're flying, okay, you just have to sleep and talk or watch a video, but you can relax. Well, relax. It's quite scary because when you have to land, and you feel that, the plane is going down. Well, I feel my stomach and and everything inside, is about to come out because I was really scared. When I flew to Spain a couple of months ago, I was really scared. And I remember people on the plane applauding the pilot at the end of the flight. Really, I'm not joking. And I wonder, why are they applauding? Because they were all scared. That's why they were applauding all day.
Maybe there's
Thank
something wrong
God
with me.
we are safe. We are safe.
Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I think that it would be really cool to go from Indiana to Tennessee in a horse and buggy.
Oh yes, I know. I get what you're saying, because yes, if I were you, I would do the same, because driving from that state to New Jersey. For me, I'm not American. I would like to see everything, nature and the environments and all this, those spectacular things in your country. But when you're on a plane, you can't do that. And so that's what we can do. But there's another option. Do what Columbus did by ship. And it's gonna take, I guess,
I won't do ship. I will never do ship.
3 days just to get to New Jersey.
I would never do ship. I won't do it because I'm terrified of it. I don't know if the Titanic did it to me or what, but I won't do ship.
Every time I do this, I always remember that, I don't like ships because, I don't feel good on ships. I every time I go there, I throw up. I'm seasick. That happens to me every time. So, plane. So I'm coming by plane.
All right, let's conquer our fears. Let's all go skydiving.
Yeah, I'll meet you there.
I would do that actually.
I would try it. I really would. Like I would be so paranoid. I'd have panic attacks, and I'd be like, Kevin, just push me. I'd scream like a girl as I'm falling, and you know what? I'd pull the chute, and once it expanded, I'd be like, oh my gosh, that was awesome. It could have had different results, but.
Rob, what's the biggest airport in New York? The Kennedy?
LaGuardia and Kennedy.
LaGuardia, Kennedy.
There's also Newark, which is
Wow.
closer.
Sopranos territory.
I'll tell you what. I have flown from New York to Salt Lake City on Flight Simulator, so I know how it is.
Salt Lake City. You're kidding me. Yeah.
On Flight
Oh,
Simulator.
you were serious. Okay.
No, I've gone from Chicago to Salt Lake City on flight, but
What?
I've also driven from Indiana to Salt Lake City in car.
Why Salt Lake City?
My family used to live there in Salt Lake, and my brother still does. One of them.
Makes sense.
Well, guys, I'm gonna have to call it.
Alrighty then.
We got some stuff to do.
What are you guys doing?
Just posted 2 links. I'm not sure, exactly how much information you'll glean to help, but from TikTok, like how to make your own sound on TikTok, and does TikTok pay you for your music and how it works. So you might be able to get some information there.
Thanks a lot, Glennis.
Cool.
Yeah.
And Fabrizio, we can talk later, but I can get your music on Spotify. That's not a problem.
Oh, okay. Yes. Every song of mine, everything. So is that possible? Because are you sure? Because we have to create an album for maybe 10, 12 songs, 12 tracks, I guess.
Yeah, and I would definitely recommend your, original compositions.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Less
Yes.
hassle.
Yes, we can talk about that. Yes.
Like you say, if you put your original ones on TikTok and a link to your YouTube, then,
Yes.
obviously people will.
I'm working on it because I've just now I can play and you can hear me. So I'm taking a lot of steps forward, and this is good. Yeah, this is a very good idea. I have to work on this. Yes, and yeah, thank you.
And Marty, I want to say I liked your song very much, and I like the simplicity of it in the sense that when you said I would just guitar and then maybe a violin and just a very possibly light piano, but I think because of its meaning and how it can resonate with a lot of people, it just needs to be uncomplicated, if you will.
Yeah, you mean the song you sent to us?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful song, and I like I said, to me it sounded like a potential blues. Okay, so we could talk about that.
A little bit of Jack Johnson, if you know who Jack Johnson is. Get some little
definitely.
But just
soft
keep
drums
it
in there,
simple, like with instruments. I don't think you
Very
want to muddy
soft.
it because your message and that's what really needs to shine, and the music needs to complement it. It can't compete with it or be an even partner.
Kind of like the
if you will.
music's like a little bit in the background, but your voice is really standing out, and it's the warm vibes of it.
You could make an acoustic version, piano and guitar, for example.
Yeah.
Yes, keep it simple. Yes,
The box drum
Gotta
that you
be
sit
kept
on.
simple. Yeah.
that's a good tip. Yes, but
You want to be able to focus on the words, and the music just complements and drives, those.
So yeah, I'll
feelings
just
and
be working
message
with
home.
all you guys on this. And the last thing, I guess, because we got to go, is you should probably get a LinkedIn. I'm going to do the same thing under your stage name and explain on that LinkedIn who you are and link all your profiles to that. Because maybe an advertising company will come to you and ask, do you have a LinkedIn? What are you all about? Blah, blah, blah. Boom, there it is. And I was just informed.
And
about
if you're
this.
in a LinkedIn search, if you pop up that way, right?
Yeah.
If
So,
you put some certain buzzwords that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have my main LinkedIn, and I'm going to create my I'm going to call it celebrity LinkedIn. But yeah.
Last thing, Martin, and it goes without saying, if you need the sheets, when the song is ready, just tell me. Okay. And
I'm working fast to create like 5 songs and get them out the door. But
nice.
I'm taking my time, and I'm really, really wanting your guys' help on this one song, because this is no chorus. It's a straightforward song, and it brings a lot of emotion.
And that's, I like it, and like I said, you gotta keep it clean, so to speak.
Bravo, Martin. And
Yep.
I say,
I like it.
buonissimo.
Well, hey guys,
Ciao,
it was
everyone.
great seeing you.
Okay, Martin.
Ciao.
Rob.
Ciao,
Take care.
everyone. Have a nice
See you
weekend.
next weekend.
Yes.
Bye.
See you.
Thank you. Ciao, everybody.
Take care.
Bye.
Take care.